Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a close look at a really important law.
Yeah, one that has a direct impact on a lot of lives.
Exactly. The Expanded Maternity Leave Law, or RA 101010. Now, you listening might be, thinking about family, or maybe just want to understand your rights at work.
Or perhaps just curious about how society supports families. Lots of reasons to tune in.
Right. And our goal here isn't just a quick summary. We want to really dig into the key parts, make it super clear, insightful, maybe spark a few aha moments for you.
It's quite a comprehensive piece of legislation, so where should we start? Maybe with the big picture.
Good idea. So fundamentally, this law gives longer maternity leave with full pay to qualified female workers.
And the scope is, well, it's impressive. It's not just big companies.
No, it covers government, the private sector, and, crucially, the informal economy, too.
That inclusivity is a really big deal, isn't it? It reaches people often left out.
Absolutely. Self-employed, traditional roles,
Yeah.
it potentially touches everyone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about your civil status or if the child is legitimate.
Yeah, that reflects a more modern understanding of families and work. So the standard leave,
105 days for a live birth, right?
that's it, 105 days, full pay, big increase. And it doesn't matter if it's a C-section or a natural delivery.
Keeps it simple.
Yeah.
And I remember there's extra support for solo parents.
Correct. If you qualify under the Solo Parents Welfare Act, you get an additional 15 days.
So 120 days total full pay.
Exactly. It acknowledges those extra challenges solo parents often face.
A really vital recognition. We should also cover the difficult topic of pregnancy loss.
Mm.
How does the law handle that?
Yes, it's important. For miscarriage, which is defined as loss before the 20th week,
Okay.
or what they call emergency termination of pregnancy, ETP, which is on or after the 20th week,
Right.
the law grants 60 days of leave, again, with full pay.
That provides essential time for, well, both physical and emotional recovery.
Definitely. And there's another option, too, for those with live births who might just need a bit more time.
Ah, yes. The unpaid extension. How does that work?
You can take an additional 30 days of leave, but this part is without pay.
Okay, unpaid.
Unpaid, yes. But you need to give your employer proper notice. It offers some extra flexibility, which can be really valuable.
Good to have that option.
Yeah.
So let's talk eligibility. What do people need to know to make sure they qualify?
Okay, so for the private sector, including the informal economy folks, the key is SSS contributions.
SSS.
You need at least 3 monthly contributions within the 12-month period right before the semester of the birth, miscarriage, or ETP.
So keeping those contributions up to date is pretty crucial then.
Very much so. That's what qualifies you for the SSS benefit part of the pay.
Got it. And what about notifying the employer? How should people handle that?
Well, ideally, you tell your employer you're pregnant and give them an expected due date.
And they pass that info to SSS.
Exactly. In the public sector, the guideline is about 30 days advance notice.
But what if someone doesn't notify right away? Are they disqualified?
Not necessarily no. That's important. Failure to notify doesn't automatically mean you lose benefits, but it would be subject to SSS rules. So best to notify, but it's not always a hard cutoff.
Okay, that's a relief for some, I imagine. And once you do apply, in the private sector, how fast should the money come through?
The employer is meant to advance the full payment within 30 days of you filing the application.
30 days. That's designed for timely support then.
Right when you need it, ideally.
Okay, let's unpack the full pay aspect. How does that actually work? Because it sounds great, but what's the mechanism?
Sure. So the law guarantees your full pay during the leave. For SSS-covered employees, it's often a two-part thing.
Two parts.
Yeah. First, you get the SSS maternity benefit itself. That's based on your average monthly salary credit.
Okay, based on your SSS contributions and salary.
Correct. But sometimes that SSS benefit might be less than your actual regular salary.
Ah, okay, so there could be a gap.
Exactly. And if there is, your employer has to pay what's called a salary differential to make up the difference.
So SSS pays its part. Employer tops it up if needed to reach your normal full pay.
Precisely. The goal is income stability during your leave.
That's a really strong commitment. What about people who aren't typical employees, like self-employed or OFWs?
Good question. For self-employed, voluntary SSS members and OFWs, they receive their benefits directly from SSS. No employer differential involved there.
Makes sense. And just a technical point, can you claim say, SSS sickness benefits at the same time as these maternity benefits?
No, you can't. The law is clear. It's one or the other for the same period. No double dipping on those specific benefits.
Okay, good clarification. Now let's explore some specific situations.
Yeah.
What if someone's job ends, like right before they give birth or have a loss?
Yeah, that's a key protection. If the birth, miscarriage, or ETP happens within 15 calendar days after your employment ends,
Okay, within 15 days.
you're still entitled to the full maternity leave pay. You'd essentially already earned that right.
That's significant. But there's a catch, isn't there? Depending on why the job ended.
Yes, a very important one. If you were terminated without just cause,
Uh-huh.
then the former employer is on the hook for paying your entire full salary for the whole leave period,
Okay.
on top of any other separation pay, etc.
Wow. So that's a serious deterrent against unfair dismissal around pregnancy.
Absolutely, a strong safeguard.
What about consecutive pregnancies? If someone has babies close together?
The law addresses that too. You do get benefits for both pregnancies, even if the leave periods overlap.
Okay.
However, for the days that actually overlap, the benefit amount for that overlapping time gets deducted from the second claim.
So you don't get double benefits for the exact same days?
Correct. And also, it's one benefit per birth event, even if it's twins or triplets.
Right, one event. Now, one of the features that always sparks interest is transferring leave. How does that work?
Yes, this is quite progressive. For a live birth, the mother can choose to transfer up to 7 days of her paid leave to the child's father.
And this applies whether they're married or not.
Doesn't matter. Married or not, the father can receive up to 7 days. It really encourages, shared parenting from day one.
It does feel like a move towards recognizing the father's role more formally. What if the father isn't around or can't take the leaves?
There's a provision for that. If the father is deceased, absent, or incapacitated, the mother can transfer those 7 days to an alternate caregiver instead.
Who qualifies as an alternate caregiver?
It can be a relative up to the 4th degree of consanguinity, so parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, first cousins.
Okay, quite a wide net.
Or it could be the mother's current partner, and the law specifically says regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity.
That's very inclusive. But this transfer option is only for live births, correct?
That's right. It doesn't apply in cases of miscarriage or ETP. Only for live childbirth.
Got it. Is there a specific process for this transfer, especially maybe in government jobs?
Yes, for public sector employees, you need to give written notice to your agency head when you file your maternity leave application, stating you want to allocate leave.
And is the transferred leave paid for the father or caregiver in the public sector?
No. That's a key difference. In the public sector, the leave transferred to the father or alternate caregiver is without pay.
Interesting distinction. Okay, what about the sad situation where the mother passes away or becomes permanently incapacitated during her leave? What happens to the remaining benefits?
In that difficult case, any unused cash benefit, meaning the monetary value of the remaining leave, goes to the child's father.
Or the alternate caregiver?
Or to the qualified alternate caregiver, yes. They'd need to provide proof, like a death certificate or a medical certificate, to the employer or SSS as needed.
So a financial support intended for the child's care continues.
Exactly. The benefit follows the child's needs, essentially.
This law seems really focused on security and well-being. A huge part of that must be the anti-discrimination protections.
Absolutely fundamental. Employers are explicitly forbidden from discriminating against women because they're pregnant or on leave, or even just because they might get pregnant in the future.
So you can't not hire someone or fire them based on pregnancy or the number of kids they have.
Totally illegal. That kind of discrimination is outlawed by this act. It aims to ensure women aren't penalized in their careers for having families.
Crucial. And it guarantees job security too, right, for those taking the leave?
Yes, your job is protected. Taking maternity leave cannot negatively affect your employment status or security of tenure.
That provides real peace of mind. Okay, almost wrapping up. If listeners run into problems, maybe a dispute about benefits, where do they go?
Good question. It depends on the issue. If the dispute is about the actual SSS maternity benefit amount.
The SSS portion.
Right. That goes to the Social Security Commission, the SSC. They handle SSS-specific claims and disputes.
Okay. And what if the problem is with the employer's part, that salary differential?
For disputes about the salary differential, the top-up from the employer, you go to the Department of Labor and Employment.
DOLE.
Yep, the specific DOL field, provincial, or regional office that covers your workplace.
Clear pathways then. So, summing up, the EMLL offers really substantial support, longer paid leave, broader coverage, crucial anti-discrimination measures.
And even innovative features like leave sharing. It's a major piece of social legislation.
Definitely. It aims to provide a strong foundation during a really significant life phase for female workers.
Exactly. And hopefully breaking it down like this gives you, the listener, a much clearer picture of what it means for you or people you know.
So, as we finish, here's a thought to chew on. When you look at details like leave transfer, including the informal sector, how might this law gradually shift wider views on caregiving, on women's economic roles?
Yeah, what further questions does this raise for you about where we're heading with workplace equity and supporting families in society today?
Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.